perfect day to finally figure out what kind of mess is sitting at my gate. My garage neighbor calls me and says, "Listen, they dropped off a motorcycle for you. Just dumped it at your gate and that's it." He says, "At least come over, I don't know. Shove it into the garage or something, because it's sitting right in front of the gate." So what do we have here? A Spark SP150R13 motorcycle. I looked around, and the first thing that caught my eye, the throttle cable is snapped, and of course, nothing works. That's the kind of bike we've got here. Some kind of joke. No idea what's wrong with it. We'll wait for the owner to show up and explain, at least we'll meet. If you're interested, subscribe to the channel, hit like, and don't forget to donate to the Armed Forces of Ukraine. Because if it weren't for them, who knows if we'd be around to enjoy this kind of nonsense. The owner of this wonder machine showed up. That moment when your reputation precedes you. He saw the place and said, "So, scooters run here?" Walked up to the security guys, and they told him, "Yeah, they fixed them here." That's how he found us. He has no idea what's wrong with it. Says it used to start, that's all he remembers. He says, "Figure it out so it rides, runs, and everything works perfectly." I said, "All right, that's exactly what we do. I think we'll sort it out. We definitely need a throttle cable. And finding parts for this Chinese miracle, that's a problem. And so far, we don't even know what else we'll need." By the way, is this a motorcycle or a moped? Who knows? 150 cubic centimeters. If it's a motorcycle, then here you go. People kept commenting, "You guys only have mopeds. Give us a motorcycle." Well, here's your motorcycle. Now we'll check for defects and see what's wrong with it. Then, as always, order parts, fix it up with a bit of Steinstreibeten, and everyone's happy. At least I hope so. So enough talking, let's get to it. First obvious problem, the airbox. The filter is dry, hasn't seen oil in forever. Good thing we checked. Everything needs wiping down, cleaning, and oiling the filter. Because with a filter like that, the engine's not going to last long. We wash the filter with gasoline, letting it dry a bit. Then we'll treat it with special filter oil, what we're using Manol. Looked online for spark-specific parts. Found nothing, so I used the old-school method. Measured it manually. The cable is 97 centimeters, the sleeve 80 centimeters. The most important thing is that the cable is the right length, so it doesn't cause revving or sluggishness. Filter's dry, oiled it up, and put it back in. Gave it a good spray. It's ready. Moving on. Filters sorted. Now for the dirty work, the chain. Tension should be 20 to 30 millimeters. And ours, well, you can see for yourself. The owner probably won't replace the chain, so we'll tighten it as much as possible. But first, we need to service and clean it. Let's take it apart and inspect it. And as expected, it's a mud pit. The chain is rubbing against the chain guard. Not how it's supposed to be. Everything's filthy, like straight from the factory. The cover's soaked in grime. If you want your machine to last, Lon recommends servicing it every 500 kilometers. Let me show you how. First, wash it with diesel. Solvents and gasoline eat away at the seals. Then dirt gets in, and that's it, game over. If you ride in the city, a service every 500 kilometers. If it's sandy terrain, clean it after every ride. We'll tighten the chain as much as we can. If that's not enough, we'll have to replace it. About the engine, it's a Zongshen Model 161FMJ, found on most similar motorcycles. Carburetor, PZ27 with a manual choke. Standard setup, no fancy eco stuff. We'll clean with diesel, then treat it. I'll show that later.
Swagger down the street with your red lips and funky beat. You better hold your head up to the sky. I'm gonna roll with you till the day I die.
This is how the cover and chain guard should look, clean and tidy. That's how it needs to be if you want your machine to last, especially if it's Chinese. But that's not all. I thought, let's try starting it. I look, and no oil. I think, what the heck? Put it on the center stand. The inspection window's black. Just pitch black. Can't see the oil. It's overfilled. I'm not starting it. We'll wait for the parts. For now, we'll revive this unit a bit. Wash it up, clean it. Not nice working in a swamp.
Won't be sorry now. Shoot me down, but I'll rise again. I'm laying down the law and you've been served. 1 by 1, billion by billion, been holding up half the sky. Raise your hand if you're ready and willing. If you know it's time.
The motorcycle is finally starting to resemble an actual motorcycle. Scrubbed all the dirt off with a brush. A pressure washer wouldn't have helped. Didn't touch the chain, that's a story for later. We're waiting on the oil and other parts. Then we'll finish up this stallion. The package arrived. Throttle cable, hope it fits. Battery, 4-stroke semi-synthetic oil, Manol, chain brush, oil filter, and chain lube. Also Manol. Let's start with the throttle cable, and I'm curious if it'll fit. The new cable has a snap-on end, while ours uses a screw-on type. Lengthwise, it's a match. But connector-wise, nope. Ordering the exact same one? Impossible. Out of stock. Ordered a different one, we'll see. If it doesn't work, we'll have to improvise. No idea how. Putting that aside for now. In the meantime, let's drain the oil, install the battery, and take care of the rest. There's a lot to do. Saying I'm shocked is an understatement. The oil is black, and there's gravel in there. Literally stones. Just brutal. I have no idea how someone could ride like that. He says he's planning to sell it. I thought I'd suggest it to you guys, but nah, not worth it. First, we need to completely disassemble and clean the engine. The filter, well, barely exists. The rest is just a sad story. Total despair. Well, what can you do? Now we're going to wash all of that stuff, and hopefully it'll leave here under its own power. So we washed everything nicely and cleanly. Everything looks fine. We cleaned it off, this little cover, the bolt. Everything was cleaned and blown through. Just like it should be. Now we're putting in a new little filter. I was thinking of taking that bike for a ride. Maybe a short cruise, but probably won't. Because, I'll say it again, without removing the engine and thoroughly flushing it, it doesn't have much of a future after what it went through. But we'll see. We cleaned the filter. The filter was dry too. Well, that's just one of those maintenance things, as they say. I'm off to put everything back together. We screwed everything in, installed it all, and pouring about 200 grams. All right, hold on somehow. We'll figure something out. Pouring 200 grams, checking if it leaks, if it doesn't, if everything's tightened properly. In total, this engine takes 800 grams, so you don't want to pour a full liter. You'll overfill it, and that'll be bad. That's the deal. Manol, fresh oil from 2023. I never thought I'd live to see the day when it hurts to open a bottle of oil. But here we are. It's packed like a premium brand, so 200 grams to start. Oh, look at that. Clear and clean like a tear. That's what your oil should look like. As soon as it darkens, it's time to change it. And believe me, changing the oil is way cheaper than rebuilding the engine. All right, we poured some in. Now we're waiting to see if there's any leaking, if everything's tight. Seems like it, but who knows? So we wait 5 minutes, then keep topping up. All right, everything seems fine. No leaks, no drips. We can safely top it off. See, just clean oil. That's what it should look like in your little oil window. How much do we have now? Almost there. There it appeared. Just a drop more. All good. The oil level is where it should be. Everything looks great. Let's hope that flush did its job. But like I said, that stone got in there somehow. Most likely through the filter because it wasn't being serviced. I don't know. Now I've got a phobia about starting that motorcycle. But what can you do? It is what it is. We're going to start it. We've got video footage, so if the owner complains, we'll show him the condition of his engine. All right, oil is sorted. Now on to the dirty work. First thing we need, a brush and some diesel. So now we're going to start cleaning everything off bit by bit. I laid down some cardboard so I don't mess up the whole garage. Got a rag. Everything's as usual. Let's go clean everything, and then I'll show you how to lubricate it properly. Our chain is washed and clean. Everything's super duper. This is the brush we used. You know where to find the link if you want one. Had to remove the front sprocket because the rear was packed with clay. Cleaned it all nicely. So yeah, take it off to get better access and clean everything thoroughly. Now we're waiting for the diesel to evaporate and dry off, and then we'll start lubricating the seals. Honestly, I'd replace the chain. We'll tighten it up now. It's already at its last notch, and I'm not sure if that's a good idea or not. Still, we'll need to start it so it warms up. And for that, what do we need? That's right. Let's throw in the battery. And I'll have to overcome my phobia of starting it after seeing the oil situation. Let's hope it doesn't die in my hands. But hey, let it die, what do I care? We'll just fix the engine again. Like they say, I ain't scared of anything. Let's go install the battery. Let's try to start this beast.
29 and I find myself wondering what did happen to the last 10. I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again.
All right, gears seem to be shifting. The engine's cranking. That's good news. But we need a throttle cable. No throttle cable, no riding. So we're waiting for the new one to arrive. If it doesn't, we'll cobble something together from the old one.
Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure.
The throttle cable arrived. Let's give it a go. Throttle handle returns. All good. Neutral. Perfect. Throttle cable is sorted. Let me show you which one I ordered. This one fit and worked. So if you run into the same issue, you can safely get this one. It's a throttle cable for a Tekken 2. 250, 102 centimeters long, housing 83 centimeters. Can't see a damn thing, going blind already. So what's next? Now we need to warm up the chain because it's flapping around like a loose belt. We'll try to tighten it. And basically, that'll be the end. Unless we count that it wouldn't hurt to give it a full engine rebuild. Oh, and one more life hack I discovered by accident. Where the throttle cable loop goes, I bent it slightly like this. And it sits perfectly. See? Everything works. That's how I adjusted the length, so to speak. Now we heat up and start lubricating our chain. Take our lube and slowly, gently go over every link. No need to spray the center, just the sides. It's a slow, meditative process. Go link by link, outside first, then inside. Good thing the lube is a different color. You can see where you sprayed and where you missed. Got both sides done, but don't sit and rev it up right away. Wait at least 2 hours, or better yet, do it in the evening and let it sit overnight. Wipe it with a rag. That'd be ideal. If you ride immediately, the lube will fly off and everything you cleaned will be wasted. So let it dry. Meanwhile, we continue. Let's try tightening that chain. The way it's flapping is nuts. I messed up a bit with the camera. Chain is tightened. That's how it should be, and not lying on the swing arm. 2 to 3 centimeters of slack, just like the manual says. Tightened it a bit. You do it here. Loosen the nut and slowly adjust here, then lock it. And you're good. Now we're putting all the covers back on and waiting for the owner. Time to hand over this noisy beast. And you already know, it'll show up on a marketplace soon. And because I care about my subscribers, I don't recommend buying this beast. This was a repair for sale, let's be honest. So it's up to you. If you want to do a full engine rebuild, go ahead and try to bargain on the price. Just don't tell them I told you. Our garage is empty, which means the bike's gone. The owner came so fast I didn't even manage to film a final shot. But I already told you everything you needed to know. Next episode, a curious case awaits you, so stay tuned. That bike will be up on the marketplace soon. Whether to buy it or not, you've got my opinion. That's it from me. If it was helpful, as always, subscribe, like the video, and donate to the armed forces of Ukraine. Because if not for them, who knows if we'd even be making these videos. Peace out.